Hello guys, how we doing? My name is Jacob, I'm your host today, and we're talking to the Reptile Roundup Florida Sports podcast. And today we are going to be talking about USF coming in today to the Swamp, and then the recap the game of the LIU Sharks. All right. So first, let's just start talking USF, man. I mean, people are going to be up in arms. I mean, they just beat the big old Boise State Bulldogs. Bulldogs. I don't know why I said that. The Broncos. So they're gonna be getting some looks right now. I mean, people are excited. People think they might have a squad. They think they might be the G5 host this year. So I think it's a worthwhile look at and see like what exactly we are going to be going up against. Obviously, the big news is going to be Byron Brown. I mean, you can just go look at what his impact on this game was. 210 yards through the air, 58 QBR. It's fine. And then 43 yards on the ground. So what Byron Brown brings to the game is a very, very solidified passing attack with the ability to rush. I mean, there's plenty of rushes where he just runs people over, things of that nature. So when you're talking Byron Brown, that's really what you're looking at there. So Byron Brown is like definitely could be a scary dude to be playing against. So Florida has to look out for him. But the thing is that he's just one player, and he's more of an athletic beast than he is like a prolific passer and quarterback. So yeah, he's like gonna athletically go make plays, but he's gonna sit down and tear you apart limb by limb with his passing and running ability. I highly doubt it. And I think that brings up like one of their big weaknesses that I saw on the tape, and that is their offensive line. Even through like their gaming, their offensive line was getting kind of handled. I do want to bring up the running back stats here, so you can see it's like Alvin Isaac, he had 52 yards, but the thing about that is he had a 49-yard rush and only 3 carries. So 2 out of his 3 carries went for less than like 2 yards. He got 3 yards on 2 carries, and then he had 1 big rush. It's like it's such an outlier. It's not even worth mentioning. And the other running back, Octavius Norton, who is their starter, averaged 2.1 yards per carry. So to me, that offensive line is definitely not blocking the way they want to against Boise, who has a much worse offensive line than Florida does. So when you look at that, that's obviously a key weakness that just comes straight to mind. I don't think they're going to be able to block Florida very well, and the running backs aren't going to be like making absurd plays. You could look out for Alvin Isaac. He had some big run potential. It's just one play though. It's hard to like base a stat on base like an opinion based off of one play in football. It's so just volatile in how it's played. So yeah, I think that's definitely what you want to look out for. The wide receivers, no one's crazy here. You look at this, it's just like it's an okay wide receiver room. It's a group of 5 wide receiver room. Why they're getting shots is because their quarterback and how their defense played. Their defense, pretty solid actually. These 2 corners, you're going to need to look out for them. They have a very good secondary. That is probably my takeaway from the tape. The biggest strength of this USF team is their passing defense. They are going to be able to play a secondary against Florida that has players that could potentially be drafted. Their corners could potentially be drafted, especially Deshaun Rucker. He is a dog. I really like all the corners though. The linebackers are mad, and again, their D line wasn't impressing me on tape. Even though Boise struggled overall, I mean, you can just look. Gaines has almost 5 yards per carry. It's like, what are we doing here? They passed it 46 times because they got behind in the game fast. It made no sense to me. You were running the ball well. Boise should have stayed running the ball. I think that was their biggest weakness. Again, they had a really good secondary, so they were able to stop. It's like Boise not only got extremely unlucky in this game, but they played right into USF's hands. It made no sense. Like, why are you only running the ball 9 times with your RB1? 9 times? Like, what are we doing? And he had good success, bro. Like, I mean, I guess you could say Sherrod, but it's just like, it really didn't make sense. Boise just didn't play. There's no reason to pass it 46 times. And, yeah, here's the big deal. Look at this. This right here, 3 fumbles lost, 5 fumbles. the defense wreaked havoc, and that's why this game is so volatile to me. This USF Boise State game, because they just wreaked havoc with turnovers and a big time fake punt. They're like overall dominance in that game was not nearly as much. Play to play, Boise State was actually having more success than USF did. But it's just the fact that they made the turnovers, and credit to them for making those turnovers. But they made the turnovers, and those kind of things are what brought Boise success in this first game. Again, it's a very crazy game with stuff like that happening, but like Boise winning 34-7, it seems like a scary score. Like they could come in and like be a real team. But to me, it's like this roster has a couple good players in the secondary, and then the rest, and then they have a good quarterback. And it's not like, and I say good quarterback, I mean extremely athletic and potent running quarterback. His problem is his release time is also going to be very big, so you could see Florida maybe making some breaks late on bats after they open. Things of that nature. So, yeah, I mean, that's really my Boise State preview. I mean, USF preview. It's hard to like really get into it. I can tell you some things they're gonna do. They're gonna be running lots of screens, and that's their big thing. Early downs, they run lots of screens, and that's just kind of like the Napier offense. They love to run screens because screens, again, when you have a weaker offensive line, you can basically mask a run game with the screens. That's what USF's going to try to do a lot. They run a lot of curls concepts, so they're going to bring it down and curl it in, things of that nature. So it's all just like big time like ideas like that. All right, so now let's get straight into my LIU like recap, really. And what are we going to talk about? I think there's a lot to talk about. I watched the tape, and maybe someday I should bring in like do some tape review. I feel like people would enjoy that. Maybe let me know in the comments. But yeah, so what exactly is the LIU review looking like? Okay, so the first couple of plays were messy. You lost contain on the first run, but eventually you come in, you force the turnover, get a defensive touchdown. The defense overall, very basic. Ron Roberts runs a really tight scheme with using creepers, which if you don't know what creepers are basically, you basically are either going to put your defensive ends or like your jacks into like coverage and blitz your linebackers or maybe your nickel, and you're basically IDing that the quarterback and the offensive line of the offense doesn't know who's coming. Basically, Ron Roberts is not going to pressure them with blitzes, but he's going to pressure them with exotic, like different people coming at you. So if like one play you have George Gumps, Tyreek Sapp, Caleb Banks, Jamari Lyons going in. The next play you're going to have Sharif Denson, George Gumps, Miles Graham, and Caleb Banks going out or something like that. I mean, I doubt you'd ever have something like that, but you get the idea. So that's kind of like the basis of what Florida's going to run, and they all did really well. I think defensively, George Gumps was amazing. He's probably my favorite player defensively. Miles Graham is just like an absurdly athletic linebacker for his size. Jaden Robinson was lights out. There's so much to love defensively, but it was all very basic. The big problem was they have a converted wide receiver at quarterback, so they really weren't going to be able to throw the ball very well, and so you couldn't really test that. It's going to be a bigger test. You're going to have actual passing concepts and passing ability out of Byron Brown, so that's going to be a bigger test this next week. But overall, you have to love what the defense did, even if it was basic. I really hope Florida's starting to put some stuff on tape that they could then use to like change stuff up when they play like LSU. You want to put in this USF game, you want to put certain things on tape that you don't necessarily need, because I think you can win just off like basics, but you want to put stuff on tape that is like seems like different, so that you can like maybe ID LSU into thinking, okay, this is a big thing, this is what they're doing, and then you come out and switch something up. They're gonna get confused. I think that's a big thing to look forward to. Okay, so then we could talk about the offense. What was good, what was bad? Easily the first thing you can bring up, Jake Slaughter, Austin Barber literally played first rounders. They are super good. Super good. In my opinion, left tackle, most important position on the offensive line. And Florida has a dog in Austin Barber there. Second most important position to me, and this is going to be a hot take, is center. So why do I think the center is the second most important position in football? For so many reasons. I think it's the basis of every play, of every run play. You're getting pushed from your center. That's the biggest, most important position. You really need all your interior to do well, but you mainly need your center. If your center messes up in a run play, especially one that's directed up the middle, you're basically going to have interior rush, and you're going to have interior pressure on your running back, and they're not going to be able to do anything. They're just going to get destroyed. If you have your right guard miss, maybe, you can push it off to the left. But since your center misses, you basically have so much straight inside, and it's going to be very hard and impossible. Another thing about the center is that they're usually going to be the smartest players on the field at identifying coverage, blitzes, and of that nature, and they can communicate with the quarterback the best, especially when the quarterback's going under center or closer to the line of scrimmage, like in pistol formation. That Napier runs a lot, so that is a big deal. I do love the center position. I think, especially when you're running short yardage downs, things of that nature, you need a good center, and he's going to make it so much easier. He just makes everything in the football game easier in the run game, and he helps identify coverages. And then Slaughter's really good at actually pulling as a center, which is really like uniquely good for a center of Jake Slaughter. He can pull, so he can almost pull like a tackle at center, so that allows you to make some more exotic run plays, which Napier's really good at. So it's things of that nature that make Slaughter just an amazing player. Okay, so what are my thoughts on the rest of the team? All right, Harris, Nigel Harris. I'm really high on him overall. Today was about I give it a 75 grade. He was fine. He had good plays, but he had some noticeably bad plays, which is like extremely concerning, I guess. For against LIU, I wouldn't say it's too concerning, but it's definitely raising a little bit of a red flag. You're going against LIU, you should just be able to dominate them up front. And we have the offensive line we think we do. But Harris, he did lose a couple of reps, but the thing is, it's game one. LIU basically is using very small players and using a defensive style, which is not normal in college football. It's similar to the Mint style, if you know that, but it's not a very normal style. Basically, they're all standing up in kind of like a three-tech, and they're standing up, and they're all just like going to the ball. And what the problem is with that is, like, when you're standing up, you're elusive. You can get around a lot, so they're not going to push you, but you can kind of squirm through them, by them. And that definitely gave Nigel Harris and some of the other offensive linemen a little bit of trouble. And that comes to Bryce Lovett. He had by far the worst game. He got beat a lot in the run game, and that was concerning. He gave up some pressures to Lagway. Again, concerning. I think it's like, I think we just have to wait and see on Lovett, because it's like, well, Lovett definitely is concerning what was going on. The good news is it's one game. It's game one. Sometimes you make mistakes. Sometimes you get nervous. And again, the defensive style was weird. The players were weird. They were small. They were elusively small. So that just made them like weirder to guard. And all our linemen are very big. So that could be like a potential hazard. But I think we should be fine as long as Lovett definitely comes up, and we'll see what he can do in the next game. I think USF is going to be a good test. He needs to hold his ground because LSU's coming, and then after that, Ruben Bain is coming. So you definitely need to see Bryce Lovett do. I watched his tape in the Tulane game. He was pretty good in the Tulane game. He didn't do anything too bad. He was definitely able to work in the run game, and he was fine in the pass coverage in those games. I know the Florida staff really loves Bryce Lovett. They think he's going to be very good. So it's kind of just like he did some good, did some bad, like Napier said in his pressers. So we just need to be patient here. I know everyone's going to scream because it's LIU. How could you give up pressure to LIU? But I think we just need to be patient. There's a lot to like. I think there's definitely some good that he had on tape, but you definitely need to be concerned there. And then right guard, Damian George and Roger Kearney, I think are a 1-2 there, and I don't know who you play. I would personally play Kearney, but I know they love George. George definitely has made some really good plays. He was fine last game. He definitely lost. I wouldn't say lost, but he definitely got beat, like, to the level you don't want to lose at LIU. Like, he wasn't getting straight up just gnawed off the line or anything. But he definitely did not, like, win a lot of some reps that he should have. So, again, I think he's definitely fine there. It was nothing concerning, per se. It was just maybe it's like, okay, take a note here. But Kearney, I love Kearney, man. Kearney is just a dog. I think he's a potential first-rounder. I would be playing him right now if it were up to me. But, again, that's up to the Florida staff, how they want to do it. I understand. I completely respect whatever they do. So, yeah, that was the offensive line. That was the biggest takeaway. So let's talk about the running backs. Jaden Ball, ridiculous. An amazing player. Every time he's making a cut, he's making more decisive. He's stronger. He's faster. It's just an absurd player. I don't know what to say else I can say about him. Just a really, 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 really good player. And Jaden Ball. Jacoby Jackson was fine. He didn't do anything poorly. but he wasn't like amazing in that game. I would definitely need to see him in the USF game play the third down back a little bit more because I want to see him in pass protection. The Florida offense was very screen heavy. You saw Lagway kind of go towards some screens at some points, like audible into them. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, but we'll see what happens there. Okay, so let's talk about the man himself, DJ Lagway. I'm roughing the jersey, you know what I'm saying, But DJ Lagway, he came back from his like injuries over the off season, and you could tell the rest was there. And that's the good thing about playing LIU is like he missed some throws and missed some reads he should have made. So when I first watched the tape, I thought he was doing better processing, but it definitely seems like some of the areas he needs to be processing at, he was kind of late. I think like one of the plays you can look at is the Vernal bound catch. You know what I'm saying? Like that catch was crazy. Amazing player, by the way. We'll get to him in a second. The catch was amazing, but he was late on that read. If he throws that earlier, Brown doesn't have to be in a scramble drill, and he doesn't make that freshman mistake of going into the ball, going towards the quarterbacks instead of finding the open space. But overall, I think he was fine. He got hit a couple of times. He started making better reads towards the end. He was pretty decisive with the ball. He had good pocket presence, except for at the very start again. The very start, he was uncomfortable in the pocket. He kind of ran out of the pocket on the first couple of plays where he got sacked, and that was pressure created by himself and not the offensive line. So it's kind of things you can't drift. If you're gonna leave the pocket, you gotta go out, scramble out. You don't want to drift outside of the pocket. You want to kind of run out, go outside the pocket, and either make a running play or throw the ball away or make a downfield pass. You don't want to just drift. You don't want to go back, go to the left, and then you're gonna let defensive linemen disengage, and they're just going to be on top of you, and you're going to have to make a crazy play like he tried to do, and he just couldn't. But overall, he was definitely precise with the ball. His motion was very concise, which was nice to see. He put some great passes up there. He showed some good pocket presence. He was able to step up on the pocket. Overall, he showed legs. He showed he wasn't truly injured. His dropbacks were superb, really concise like normal. So overall, really good game from him. Obviously, you want to see those accuracies concessions go down, and I want to see the processing go up just a titch, because that's his biggest thing, was reading coverages and processing. If he can do that at a better level, he's going to be a basically perfect quarterback prospect. It's that good. He just needs to get there on that. So hopefully he works on that. The news around the program right now is that he has been determined this week, so we'll see what comes up against USF. Hopefully that rust is off and he's making those reads better. Okay, tight end room. Tight end room was bad, man. That was my biggest bad takeaway. I mean, so there were some really good design screens by Napier. The one to Eugene Wilson on the outside to the right of the team, and it ended up being like 3rd and 10. And it was 3rd and 10. I think Lagway actually audible to the screen, which is what I'm saying. Like, good decision making by Lagway in this game up the line. I think he was identifying very well. He identified the coverage was off. He made the screen, and basically what it had was that you had Trey Wilson trying to go inside, or he's trying to go outside, but he ended up having to go inside because Hayden Hansen was out there, and it was 1-on-1. If Hayden Hansen makes his block, Trey Wilson goes to the outside, and he's 7 or 8 yards down the field without being touched or even having to do any moves to make someone miss. And Thor's basically probably going to get a first down because Trey Wilson in space. But instead, Hansen misses his block. The defender takes away the outside. Trey Wilson has to cut inside, and he's going to get tackled by the backers. And they make 3 yards on 3rd and 10. It was a bad play. Yeah, I really have I have nothing else to say except for the Titans need to block better. There's no reason on this team they shouldn't be amazing blockers. Again, game 1, I'm not concerned until it becomes a habit. Obviously, you don't want the concerns to happen against LIU, but this is football. Nothing's going to be perfect. You're not going to play a perfect game. So there's going to be concerns. I don't want concerns to happen against LIU, but they do. That's just the truth of the matter. They need to work on that. They need to make sure they're bounce tracking better. When you get screens in space, it's massive. All right, let's talk about wide receiver room. Who did I love in this game? 2 players in the wide receiver room. And I'm going to tell you, number 1, Vernell Brown III. He looked like a stud, dude. The screen to the left that he had, he's able to just squeeze through 2 blocks, make a man miss, get 15 yards, hit the Gator jump. He was nice in his routes. He's just a playmaker, dude. He's a true freshman and a stud. I really love him. J. Mike was fine. Trey Wilson was fine. Don't let the stats fool you. Florida did not run many passing concepts, and the ones they did, Lagway had to make some moves because they were playing such deep coverage. So, yeah, I'm not concerned right now. I want to see more. That's what I'm curious. USF's going to be really fun. I can't wait to see some real passing concepts because these dudes could be dogs. And we're going to let Lagway unload hopefully a little bit more. But, yeah, a little bit concerning? Nah, not concerning at all, really. J. Mike and Trey, I'm not concerned. I can't wait until this week to see what they're going to do. But sleeper wide receiver TJ Abrams, man, he looked crisp. He was just route running. He was making cuts at the right timing. He was putting defenders off balance in the secondary. He could definitely come out and be an outside guy that if you don't have your number 1 corner on, he could definitely make food of some kids, dude. And and if he's doing that with like Lagway's ability and what Florida has to offer, I mean, it's gonna be scary because that's like he could be your third outside receiver. Like, come on, bro. When Dallas Wilson comes back, like, come on, bro. This wide receiver room is stacked. Okay, sorry. Wide receiver room is completely stacked. Yeah, so that's really the recap of LIU. I really enjoyed that. But I want to talk about Trammell a little bit. He looked really good. He had that really good pass to Livingston, I believe. He just in the corner of the end zone. He looked really nice. His processing was fine for a freshman. He made some accuracy a little bit, touch low on some passes, but he's a playmaker with his feet. He can move. He was able to throw with some anticipation with a true freshman. You love to see that. You love to see placement. Ball placement was nice. Some accuracy concerns a little bit, but overall he was reading the field well, doing well. I think that Florida really got a good quarterback in Trammell Jones. I mean, it was really just a really nice performance. But yeah, I really don't have much more to say. I think I'm going to do way more in-depth stuff next week because we got LSU. But yeah, I definitely wanted to get something out, so I appreciate it. If you are watching this, thank you. And I hope to see you guys next time. Next week, I should drop 2 podcasts. I'll do a recap of USF and then LSU preview. And maybe some more analytical stuff in that first one. Maybe some recruiting stuff. I'm not sure yet. But I'll try to do 2 podcasts next week. If not, I'll definitely have the one on Friday next week. It should be coming out on Friday or Saturday next week. But anyway, peace. Go Gators.